as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.
This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester Magazine presents the People Before Politics show, the news with the black point of view.
Everybody, what's happening? Damon K. Jones, my partner, AJ Woodson.
What up,
and we getting ready to bring my brother Alan Glover on to we have this great discussion about what's happening today, and this will be I guess we will call it the post-election show. A lot going on. I've saw news anchors cry, and I don't know, man. I don't know about that, but some people, a lot of people are upset. But it is what it is. The people have spoken. So I wanted to also we just wanted to move forward real quick. I want everybody to make sure that they check out blackwestchester.com. It's the news for the black point of view. Please go sign up to get on the mailing list so we could keep you informed of what's going on in our communities, in the tri-state area, international news, national news. We do it for the love of the people, and also out on the streets right now is the latest newspaper, Black Westchester. And we talk about, on the cover, we talk about the George Floyd bill and the misconceptions of the George Floyd bill. That was one of the issues, talking points that they were using. But I really don't think people knew about the limitations of the George Floyd bill. So check that out. And we're going to move on to what we're going to move on next. Scent of the week. The scent of the week is, let me make sure I get it right. I got to get the name right now. Now I know Christmas is coming up, and the scent of the week is Fragrance World French Avenue Azzure Aoud. This is very nice, sisters. Y'all want your man to smell good, and you don't want to break the bank. Part of the reasons people was talking about everything's expensive, and these are good scents. Now check this out. A smell doesn't have a label. I'm going to say that again. Smell doesn't have a label. Either you smell good or you don't. Either you have a good quality scent on or you don't. And this is a good quality scent. Top notes are fruity, rose, passion fruit, and saffron. The middle notes are oud, benzoin, and patchouli. And the base notes is leather, vanilla, cedarwood, sandalwood, and amber. This is a nice scent for the winter, and it's long lasting, and it doesn't cost a lot. The link is in the bio of the show. So let's go into the next subject. As we do, so we're talking about politics, and people, a lot of the people that are watching, if they're talking about politics, this is the show. We're talking about post politics, and as we said in the beginning, we I'm expecting somebody else, but we're gonna bring in my brother, Alan Glover. We're gonna bring him on, and then we'll just move on. Peace and blessings, brother Alan. How you doing, man?
Peace, peace, my man, Big D, my man AJ the God, AJ the God.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's happening? What's going on?
So we wanted to bring my brother on. We've been talking for a while, man, and I think it's very interesting how this turned out. Nobody would have thought that it was going to turn out in this manner, especially Donald Trump winning the popular vote, and the election. The last time I have an article coming out about why Trump won, so we could discuss all the things that the Democrats didn't do. But I want to also just break down a lot of things because we have to really understand that. Let me see if I could bring that in. Here we go. So here's the breakdown. Here's the breakdown of race. Now, for them to what I didn't like, and maybe AJ and Alan can talk about, you know of them blaming black men. This list, black men did what they were supposed to do. They came out and voted. Now, the trend, if people watch, the trend was that the Democrats was losing black men anyway. Even from Obama, they were losing black men. So, oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So, for them to start and the Obamas to make those statements, man, I really think it did a disservice to Kamala's campaign. You can't tell grown ass men what to do, and you can't shame black men into voting. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes. One of the mistakes that the campaign made when it comes to black men. Black men have always voted Democrat on the majority. Even though a lot of times we felt that the party wasn't loyal to us, we were loyal to the party. And AJ or Alan, y'all could go from there.
I want to shout out to my brother in Atlanta, Raheem Shabazz. He put on Instagram. I wanted to read his comment real quick. Believing that black people lack political savvy and are not looking for tangible benefits and policies before voting is a serious miscalculation. Thinking a D-list of celebrities like Plies and Uncle Luke could represent Black America's voice was an outrageous insult. When we voiced our disapproval of Megan Thee Stallion twerking at a political rally, the Harris campaign responded by bringing in Cardi B and Sexy Red only to deepen the disrespect. The Democrats have 4 years to get it right, reclaim the White House, and start prioritizing Black communities. It's time they learn to read the room. See you in 4 years. That's my man Raheem Shabazz, and he's one of the people when they were removing people from the polls in Georgia. He
Right.
voted in every election. He was one of the people that his name was removed from the he was removed from the polls. So that was a real thing in Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. So I
Right.
just wanted to share that. I read that before we went live. I said,
Right. Alan?
Yeah, I mean, at peace. I mean, I echo what Brother Raheem was just saying. The question I was always asking was, and it's multitude. There's I think Damon, you headed it off correctly. It's like we get to critique and ask these kind of questions now that everything has kind of come to pass. It is, what did the what critique are we layering at Democrats? What are we layering at them? What is it that made them believe that we need to bring quote superheroes in front of us? The Magics, the Baracks, the Michelles, Spike, you know, Jermaine Dupri, D.L. Hughley, and others. What made them think that you need to bring quote unquote superheroes, larger than life celebrities in front of our face, John Legend, Taraji, and others, to speak to us in such condescending ways? It feels like almost like, hey, put the celebrity in front of their face to blind them, and then make sure the celebrity speaks. But oh, we didn't know what the celebrity was going to say because they
Right.
didn't realize that the celebrity was going to be basically lambasting us. You come from us and you're lambasting us
Right. Right.
in the name of shaming, manipulating, condescension, disrespect, using all of this to cut us down, basically cut our legs out, cutting us too short to stand up, thinking that we're going to walk into the voting booth with tears in our eyes and snot bubbles and saying, man, Barack really messed me up. Now I'm going to go in here and vote the way he want me to vote. On what planet do you do this kind of stuff?
Right.
You can't do, Jews won't let you do that. Italians won't let you do that. Asians and
Right.
won't let you do that. But with us, you can say, yeah, you all ain't nothing anyway. So why don't you all go vote for who I tell you to vote for? Like, on what earth are you operating like? And there was no compassion, there was no humility yet to come out and saying, hey, I apologize to my own community. I don't know what I was thinking. I saw those dollars in my account and I said, I'll just let me give me whatever you want me to say. I mean, the nerve of Spike Lee and what he said, the nerve of this
Right.
man.
Exactly.
My
Exactly.
people are my people are they're drinking the juice. I wish Barack would come at them harder. First off, you want to ask Spike, when you think in your head by saying that, what black people do you see? Who are you talking about?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to say I thought about this for a while. I am disappointed, um, but not for the reasons that everybody might think. I'm disappointed in the Democratic Party. I'm disappointed. This is a chicken come home to roost moment. Um, Black men have been ignored by the Democratic Party for forever. The way they handled this whole election with Biden, I put a lot of blame on him as well. Running till he couldn't run no more, depriving the party of the purpose of having a primary. I know a lot of people were upset because, the nomination was basically handed to Kamala. There wasn't a primary. The people didn't get a chance to make a decision. And then you expect this black woman to run this campaign in 117 days and undo all that negative baggage that the Democratic Party has. They knew the condition that Biden was in, and they let him go and go and go, and till he couldn't go no more, and then passed the baton to Kamala, and literally it was like in the 11th hour, and expected a miracle. But black people, especially black men, have been ignored by the Democratic Party. They assume that we're going to vote Democrat no matter what, that they have our vote, so they don't have to give us anything. Now, there's never going to be a perfect candidate. There's no elected official that's going to be wave a magic wand and give us everything we want and do everything we want done. It's just never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not happy with the whole Trump presidency thing again. But the Democrats have their own selves to blame for lack of outreach to us, for lack of a lot of things. They have their own self to blame. This is self inflicted. And like Raheem said, they got 4 years to get it right. They have 4 years to get it right. And they need to start listening to us. The other thing I want to say, and it's been said by several people, several different ways, so I'm going to put it in my own words. No one cared. The Dems didn't really care what black men thought, and black men wanted and never really reached out to us on any major level until they realized in the last hour, both parties actually realized in the last hour that black men was a demographic that they need to go after. And then all of a sudden, we was the we were everything. They were everybody. We was the talk of everything. Black men, black men. But before and all these other elections and going into this campaign, we weren't even thought of. And I think a lot of black men saw that. A lot of black men, some better than others, questioned that. And you have the right to question a candidate that wants your vote. You have a right to question that person. And what are you going to do for me? Like every other group of people. Um, like I said, I don't think everybody did it right. I think some people went a little overboard, but it was a little extra. But the point is, black men were tired of being ignored, and I think this is a lot of what you heard. A lot of what the result is. Like I said, chickens coming home to roost.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You see, because we never be honest. And AJ, I said it, and I told people Kamala was a bad candidate. Sometimes we need to start thinking like Spock, like a Vulcan, and not being all in our emotions and think logical. She was a bad candidate. She didn't even rank the highest in the debate when she was debating Biden. She was put there by the Obamas. She wasn't the original choice. Stacey Abrams was the first choice to be vice president. Let's start being honest with ourselves.
And Stacey Abrams didn't want it.
And
Yeah.
she didn't want it, and they gave it to Kamala.
I was actually after Stacey Abrams didn't want it. I was actually rooting for the sister from Florida. What's her name? The dark skinned sister.
Yeah, I know.
That's actually who I was rooting for.
That's what a lot of people. That's what a lot of people was rooting for.
And
So, so
one
no,
of the
no.
things,
But let me finish what I'm saying.
yeah,
You got to
right.
let me finish what I'm saying. So she never established herself as a leader in the Democratic Party. She never did. And so with all the sisters watching, there were other black women that should have been there. There were other black women that should have been there. So this is not knocking because she's a black woman. It's knocking the process. The process was flawed. So that turned a lot of the people off. I'm going to tell you what else turned a lot of people off. Not having an actual, at least 1 month primary.
That's what I said.
Because then a lot of us would have saw that she wasn't the better candidate.
There was,
And the Obamas wanted the primary, but it was AOC and other ones pushing to give it to Kamala. So now she had to establish herself in those few months, and it was a quagmire because how are you going to separate yourself from the Biden administration? Let's have real talk, like without emotions. How are you going to separate yourself from the Biden administration? And for all y'all that was watching, y'all think a lot of us live in in our little bubbles, right? New York is a bubble. And we think what's going on in New York that they're feeling in the rest of the country. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, AJ, you was on the show when we spoke out against men playing women's sports and the women that was listening attacked us. Attacked us from New York.
from Westchester.
From Westchester. But if you go outside of New York, they're not trying to hear that. And rightfully so. I don't want my granddaughters to be playing men in high school sports.
I said that about our daughter as a father.
And I don't care, and I don't care what people say. They wasn't running on the economy. They were lying to the people about the economy. They were lying to people about the border. Let's just have real honest. You can say the economy's well, but when I go to the store like I did yesterday, and I spent $130 just on fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables.
Alan got to turn down his background noise.
Yeah, you got to turn down the TV, Alan. Alan, you got to turn the TV down.
Whatever's in the background, TV, radio, whatever. Can you hear us, Alan? I don't know if he can hear us.
He might not be able to hear us. I don't know why not.
Well, I'm going to mute him until he's ready.
Yeah. Let me send him a private chat.
I don't know how to do that on here.
All right.
We got a new system we're working. I hope y'all like it. Yeah, you got to turn that down.
Yeah, Alan, you got to turn your TV down.
Turn your TV down. Off. Yo, speaking about the primary, this is Kamala's first national race. In the last, when she primaried Biden, she dropped out before Nevada. She didn't run the gambit the whole time. When she ran with Biden for vice president, you basically vote for president. You don't vote for vice president. And I believe had what Damon was saying, what I was trying to say too, if we had gone through a normal primary process, you would have either seen her weaknesses as a candidate or she'd have been more prepared for to run a national race for the presidency. I think not having a primary kind of hurt the situation as well too. And
Right.
it didn't give people a choice. I think a lot of people are upset that they didn't get the choice.
Well, it's
And
not only
then you hand
well,
her again, you hand her a baton with 117 days to go and say, you know, expect a miracle.
yeah, but she did not establish herself. And and like I told people, uh, you you ran the Obama campaign. See, we've been through the hope. Black people been through hope. We put our hope in Obama, and he bailed out the banks instead of bailing out the people. Let's talk facts. The black wealth gap widened under Obama with white people. Let's talk facts. These are facts. And we're not in our feelings, we're talking facts. So when you run the same campaign, we heard that before. We bought the t-shirt. We bought the t-shirt. And you don't go into an election in a war. You don't go into election in a war. And a lot of people wasn't liking that. I personally believe the Biden administration, including Kamala, was backstabbed by Netanyahu. They couldn't control him. They couldn't control him. He could have ended that a long time ago, but he didn't. And we kept giving them money. And that was a problem for a lot of people. That's why Jill Stein did so well. And then you need to deal with white women. They bamboozled black women. They got y'all thinking y'all don't need a man, and they followed their white man right into the voting booth and voted for Trump. They bamboozled y'all. You thought we all in this together, we all women. And they said, nope, we're following our white man.
A lot of people said the third party candidates hurt. And as I look at the numbers, Jill Stein got 629,538, 4%. Robert Kennedy, who was off the ballot, but still his name showed in some states, I guess, he got 600,567, 4%. If you add those up, it's basically like 1.2, 1.3 million. And if you add that to what Kamala got, it would have only took her to 69. She still would have been losing.
She was still because that's a false narrative that the Democrats give. Third party candidate wasn't going to hurt Trump. I mean, it wasn't going to hurt Kamala. It hurt Trump.
But I'm saying, even the third, they still only third party candidates, Green Party and Independents, they only came up with 1.3 million votes. And if you add that to Kamala Harris,
Yeah,
um,
but that's yeah,
even if you say
yeah,
2 million, let's
but
say,
you're
yeah,
making up but that's making up a narrative.
yeah, no, I'm agreeing. I just wanted to put the numbers out there for
Right,
that.
but we not going to talk a made up narrative and have people thinking, oh well, no, they wasn't going to vote. They wasn't going to vote at all.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't make a difference.
Right, it did make a difference, and third party candidates wouldn't vote at all.
Oh, there was Libertarian. He got 500. So say 2 million votes altogether.
Yeah, they
It's,
wasn't going to vote at
it's
all.
if those 2 million people voted for Kamala, it still wouldn't have
But
helped.
they wasn't going to vote for
And a
Kamala.
lot of them weren't voting. They weren't happy. The third party candidates weren't happy with either candidate. They weren't feeling Kamala and couldn't bring themselves to vote for Trump. So they
Exactly. And
voted
that
for third,
exactly.
they voted for third
Exactly.
party candidates that didn't have a chance in hell to win,
Exactly.
um, but just to vote.
If 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 the Democrats would have would have stopped Netanyahu, Kamala would have been president. And that's facts. Kamala would have been president. And what's crazy, what I don't understand, and I watch people on social media, so-called educated people, so-called upper level living people, that yeah, I can hear you now. Hold on, let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. You must have went to something else because yeah, so upper educated people that they had no connection to what was going on in Gaza. And black people. Like we've forgotten what white supremacy looks like. Even when it's even when it's funded by us. And that's what I really didn't understand. And then they get mad at the Palestinians because they didn't want to vote for Kamala. There was a lot of big mistakes there. And the Democrats, I don't think I think listen, I think it's over for the Democratic Party. They're going to have to come way back to the middle again. See, because what happens is, AJ, and you know it, and Alan, you know it, when you run in the primary, you to the left. When you get into the general election, you come towards the middle. You just can't stay all the way to the left. It's just not going to work. Black people are conservative people. You baited us, having put in a black woman, you baited us with that one. But we're especially down south. You know, I'm seeing on Facebook pastors, pastors being mad at people in the Southern Belt because they want family values. Are you kidding me? Are we getting that messed up as a people? That they don't agree with what's going on. They don't agree with putting those type of books in our schools. Alan, where you go? He just disappeared again.
He might have a problem with his connection.
Yeah. But they don't agree. He's coming back. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, man. One of y'all. You there, Alan?
Can hear you. It's weird because it's like all of a sudden the volume went really, really low.
Oh, I don't know, man. You in and out.
Right, we keep losing you.
That's odd.
Like we keep saying, "Yo, what you think, Alan? Alan? Oh, where Alan go? Where Alan go?"
Exactly. No, I think I couldn't hear you. And once again, it may be the phone. I don't know. I don't know. But I was just going to add that, in a very simplistic way, like, you know, Kamala ran for president. She never once did any speech or any part of her tour back in San Francisco.
Oh, he froze again.
We lost you again.
Damn, we lost
That
you.
and people took notice of that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can't see you.
Yeah, we losing you. You going in and out, bro.
It's like
Yeah, we lost him again.
He's back.
For anybody watching, we
Can
want
you
to
hear
hear.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For,
Delay.
for anybody watching, we want to hear what y'all think. We want
Now
to
I
hear.
don't hear anybody.
Yeah. For
I
anybody
don't get
watching,
this. I don't get this at all.
for anybody
I
watching, we
don't
want to hear from
understand
you.
this, man. But y'all go ahead and talk. Let me figure this out.
All right, yo, for anybody watching this, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts on the election. Again, I stand firm. The Democrats, their injuries are self-inflicted right now. I truly believe that.
No, it is self-inflicted. It is self-inflicted, and we also have to. Is he coming back in, or am I losing him?
I don't know, bro. I don't,
I'm just gonna remove him from the scene.
yeah.
I'm just gonna remove him from the scene for now until he get his stuff together. Yeah, no, it is self-inflicted. You know what I'm saying? So and this is what I don't like. I wanted to bring this scene in, man, because this is something that I really don't like, and I touched on it on the publisher's desk, but I wanted to bring this in here. Check this out.
Talking about who should we trust to keep our community safe, wants to provide police officers with full immunity to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do whenever you feel like a situation arises that requires you to not use best practices, whether that be using patience, calling a mental health professional. But if you believe a person needs to be shot down like a dog in the street, you do so and you won't have to face any consequences. So when we talk about a matter of safety, a matter of keeping our community safe, you have a person who literally just rambles and acts off of emotion, compared to an individual who's saying that I candidly want to use legislation and policy to find ways to not only keep our community safe, but help us thrive in every way imaginable.
You said.
Why did they tell black people a lie?
Why he said that?
Huh?
Trump said that.
He can't.
No. Trump
No,
said.
no. I don't get. See, this is the thing. He can't. He can't. They already have immunity. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, they already have immunity. Every police officer in the United States already has immunity, according to the Supreme Court. And we're scaring black people like he's going to do it. They already have it. And it's sad that Ben Crump, a lawyer, is sitting on that dais.
So you saying cops have full immunity?
Yes, according to the Supreme Court ruling.
They cannot be charged for killing black people.
Unless you go to trial. Unless you go to trial.
Yeah,
You have to reach.
but giving them full immunity, they can't be taken.
No. The Supreme Court ruling is you have to prove the threshold.
Okay, but giving them full immunity, they don't have to go to trial.
No, because we don't go to trial. We settle.
Giving them full immunity won't allow you to go to trial.
No, you don't. No, we don't go to trial.
Two things can be true. Yes, there are not enough people going to trial. They're settling. Two, giving them full immunity won't allow
you didn't listen. You cut me off. You have to prove above the threshold that they violated the person's right. The only way you do that, AJ, is to go to trial. When you don't go to trial, you don't prove that their actions went beyond the threshold.
And you're not hearing me. Giving cops full immunity doesn't even allow you to take them to trial anymore.
No. Oh my God. Y'all got it all mixed up.
They can't be held responsible.
They already know. Listen, the Supreme Court ruled that they have immunity. All public people have immunity. Unless you can prove that they reached the threshold on violating somebody's life. Do you want me to read you the case? I'm going to read you the case. Because see, we get it twisted in that we believe the bullshit. And we have to stop. We have to literally stop.
Okay, you're mixing apples and oranges.
I'm not mixing.
Listen,
First of all, let me explain something to you. I've been doing this for 33 years. I've been working with lawyers. You have to go to trial.
You're not hearing me. Giving them immunity means you can't take them to trial because they can't be held liable.
No. I'm talking about the ruling. I'm not talking about what you're saying. You're talking.
I'm talking about what he said.
Listen, I'm not talking. No.
You can't not deal with it.
No. You're dealing with what you said. I'm talking about what it is.
But the brother commented on what Trump said he will do.
And I said he can't. No. He can't do it. It's a Supreme Court ruling.
But he said it.
Holy shit. It doesn't matter. This is the feelings. It doesn't matter.
I'm not talking feelings. I'm talking about what I
heard. Look. All right. They also said, wait a minute. They also said Trump's going to bring back stop and frisk.
I didn't hear him say that.
No, there was a commercial that said Trump's going to bring back stop and frisk. Guess what?
I didn't hear that. And
listen to what I'm saying.
I'm dealing with the video you just showed.
Oh my God, you're not listening. You're not listening. Trump can't bring back stop and frisk. It never left.
But that's not the video you just showed. That's not the
I understand the video that I didn't show, and you're still not listening. You have to bring it on a threshold. The only way you do that is you have to go to trial. Other than that, they already have it. The president cannot blanket make policy for local, state, county police. It's called the 10th Amendment. We already had this discussion. AJ. I don't care what he said. He can't do it. They will have to change the Constitution.
Right. Trump promised exactly.
No.
Listen.
AJ, I get
somebody
what
else
he said.
A conversation is a conversation.
No. I get what he said.
You don't agree with me. A conversation is a conversation.
Yeah, but I get you're not listening to what I said.
The wording was he was pledged to give cops immunity from prosecution. That means you can't take them to court. Now, all the other stuff you're talking about, whether he can do it or not, that's what he said.
Yeah, but no. Exactly. But if we're going to have a round table of black men, and if you're going to have civil rights lawyers that are sitting there, you are obligated to tell people the truth, to understand the 10th Amendment, to understand the powers of the president, to understand what that's going on. Come on, man. You don't sit there and put fear into black people. When your local and your county and state officials ain't doing their damn job. That's not right. I don't care what he said. I'm going to continue saying that. But you had Ben Crump sitting on the dais. And he said absolutely nothing to clear that up on what the powers of the president is and what the powers of the president isn't. We shouldn't do that to black people.
So if the president, a Republican president, has a Republican Congress, a Republican House, and a Republican-led Supreme Court, what's going to stop him if he does try to do it? Who's going to stop him?
You will have to change the Constitution.
But who's going to stop him from doing
No,
that?
no. You have to change the Constitution.
Who is going to stop him from doing that?
How do you change the Constitution?
You tell me. You brought it up.
Not only you gotta change the Constitution, you also have to give 2/3 of the votes of the governors. You have to get 2/3 of the votes of the governors. You think you're going to get all that to do something that they already have? They already have it. That's what I don't understand. They already have it. But the problem is you got lawyers like Ben Crump that don't go to trial.
One thing, did you see? You keep mixing two things up.
No, it's the same thing.
No. Look, can I talk?
Go ahead.
The fact that we've established that not enough victims go to trial and their lawyers settle, and there's no case law. That's one case. That's one fact. That has nothing to do with what he said and cops having immunity and from prosecution and not being able to be prosecuted. You're talking in a normal situation, what is normal. We're not no longer dealing with what's normal. Nothing Trump has done and does is normal. This whole
all right. Okay. Let me no, because we're going in circles.
The old norms are gone.
No. Listen, the Constitution is the Constitution until they change it.
And how many times has
the Supreme Court ruling? So the Supreme Court ruling is the Supreme Court ruling. Who's going to change it? You already have it. You already have it. You doesn't relinquish it unless you go to trial. I don't understand it.
So his Supreme Court can't give a new ruling? Someone,
this is the only way it's going to get to the Supreme Court, someone's going to have to challenge it.
They have lower courts in law.
Yeah, but what are you
That's how they did everything.
No, AJ, what are you challenging? What are you challenging? It has to be someplace where the qualified immunity was taken away. But it's up to the states. Some states don't have qualified immunity for their police officers.
But you
acting like states that don't. It's left up to the states.
You act like that can't happen. That's how.
No. What I'm saying is, if it can't happen because they already have it. It's up to the goddamn states.
Okay.
Dude, it's up to the states.
Okay.
And if you want to do it, and if you want to challenge it in federal court, you have to go to trial. The problem is they don't go to trial. They settle. So they don't create case law. So if an action of an officer, let's say they won it. Let's say they take something to trial and they won that case. They went above the threshold to take away that officer's qualified immunity. Now that's case law.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. As a law enforcement expert, you can't do it in the reverse. You said taking officers to court and then they went in. They can't challenge something else, a case that they're being brought, and they challenge it and then they lose, or they try to, a local municipality tries to change their local law, giving them immunity from prosecution. They get shut down in court, and then they rise it up, and the Supreme Court takes it on.
Oh no!
You can do that.
No! Listen.
But
Listen to me. They can, but the Supreme Court left it up to the states. So it's going to get kicked back to the states.
That's what happened before.
What do you mean what happened before?
We're talking now that there's no checks and balances and that they're
the Supreme Court won't hear it because they already have a ruling on it. Dude, we got to understand how this shit work.
Roe versus Wade was a ruling.
No, but it was challenged in a state. It was challenged.
Okay, so this can be challenged in a state.
Yeah, but there was but qualified immunity is qualified immunity. You left it up to the states. They didn't leave it. Roe versus Wade was a national law.
Qualified immunity means that you can't be prosecuted?
No, you can't be prosecuted.
That's what we're talking about. You keep saying qualified immunity. I'm not saying qualified immunity. I'm saying immunity from prosecution. His exact wording.
No, qualified. Yeah, but he was, but that's bullshit. See,
Okay.
and this is when you talk to a lawyer, bro, when you talk to a lawyer and they know the truth, if he's talking about you can't be charged, you can be charged. Qualified immunity was ruled, but you have to bring it up to the threshold. You have to bring it up to the threshold. And nobody's going to pass that law because they already have it. The problem is, and now here I go again, nobody goes to trial.
Okay, I want to move on because this one subject you're talking about and going all out on is not what this election was all about. This election
No. My point for this is that we have to understand the laws. And we don't. We don't even know. Like you got these people talking about.
So what percentage of that contributed to this election? Trump won. Trump didn't win.
No. What percentage of that?
Win because of this. We were talking about why Trump won.
What percentage of that contributed to the election?
What percentage of that has
because they was talking the wrong talking points. You talking about stop and frisk when stop and frisk never left.
Video wasn't about stop and frisk. You keep
No. I'm talking about another video. And if I find it,
I'm talking about the video you showed.
But
I'm talking about the video you showed. You bring it up.
AJ, it falls under the same thing. These are Supreme Court rulings. And when he says he's going to do it, it's already there.
Okay, so again, I like to move on because this election was not solely about that. And
this election, would they sold black people on those things, not just qualified immunity. They sold black people on him bringing back stop and frisk, and black people don't even understand. It's called a Terry stop. It's called a Terry stop. It was ruled by the Supreme Court.
How many people didn't vote? How many people voted for Trump because of that?
No. It's not voting for Trump. It's voting. It's telling people this is what's going to happen. It's fear,
this election.
Bro.
This conversation is supposed to be a post-election conversation.
Yeah, but that was the campaign. What are you talking about? That was the campaign. That's what people was posting. That's what the hell you lead all these people.
That wasn't her campaign.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. What do you think the Black Man Conference was for? What do you think that they were talking about? What do you think these things was coming up in the Black Man's Conference? It was to try to inform black people to vote Democrat. But what I'm saying is, if you want to talk real things, don't put fear. That was fear. Let's talk economics.
Let's talk job creation. That had more to do with this election than what you're talking about.
No, I'm bringing up the fact.
Young people in Gaza had more to do with the results of this election than what we're spending. 54 minutes, we spend a half an hour on this one.
You're stuck on the election, and I wasn't talking about the election.
The show was about the post-election results.
No, the show is about how the fuck we got here. But that's what the show is about. The show is about how the fuck we got here. We got here running a fucked up campaign. We got here running a fucked up campaign.
But we've been talking 35 minutes about this immunity thing.
Well, you're the one kept going back and forth, bro.
Because I don't agree.
You don't have to agree. The law is the law.
I don't agree with you.
It's the law. It's the law. The law is the law. We can't make up shit. So that was the problem.
So now you're accusing me of making up shit? You're accusing me of making up shit?
No, that wasn't what? The law is the law.
You saying
about the campaign.
I'm talking about what I said. You said you can't make up shit. So
you can't make up the law.
Who are you talking to?
You can't make up the law.
Who are you
Supreme
talking
Court
to?
rulings. You can't make it up.
So you're accusing me of making up shit.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the campaign. You
As a
can't
response
make
to
up
what I
things.
said, you said
I
you
said, but I'm talking about
you
the
talking to me.
campaign.
You can't make up shit. That's what you said.
I'm talking about the campaign. You cannot make up shit. The campaign. The law is the fucking law.
That
Like,
dude
what is
talking is
like,
not
like
the
what is
campaign.
it?
But you're showing a video of a supporter that's not the campaign. You're not showing me
No,
people a
listen.
video
No,
of
no.
what Kamala said.
No,
Kamala
wait,
said,
wait a minute. Stop. What do you think that show was for? What do you think that show was for?
since you're not letting nobody else talk, you tell me. Because anything I say, you don't let me
Well,
finish. You tell me.
that show was basically about Trump and for black men not to vote for Trump. That's what the show was for. And you know what? And fine. But what I'm saying is you have to be honest when you got civil rights lawyers up there. And you're not being honest with black people. That's my point. That's my point. You can say what he might do in the future, but the law says today, this is what it is.
It's about what he might do in the future. He said what he was going to do in the
But,
future.
but
Not what the law
AJ,
is now.
but
He
AJ,
said what
he
he was
said
going to do.
something that's already there. That's my point. That's my point. He said something that's already there.
Are we going to talk about
The
anything
10th
else with the
Amendment
election?
doesn't allow the
Are we going
president.
to talk about anything else about the
The
election,
10th Amendment.
post-election?
The
Or
10th
is
Amendment
this the
doesn't
rest of the
allow it.
conversation? Is this the
No,
rest of
but
the
that was
conversation?
my point. That was my point from the beginning. The 10th Amendment doesn't allow it. So what
You're
are we
still
talking
talking. I
about?
stopped talking. You're still talking. This is not the whole election. The whole election wasn't about this. We spent over
I
half
get
an hour on this. So that's the only thing that mattered with this election.
no. I'm not saying that's the only thing that
But you
matters.
keep talking over 30 minutes
I'm not
about it.
saying
I
that that's the
stopped
only
and
thing
you
that matters.
continue talking about it.
I'm not saying that's the only thing
Then I
that
wouldn't
matters.
let you finish. I let you finish, and you still
All right,
talking.
then let's move on to the next thing then.
That's what I said 3, 4, 5 times. You didn't want to do that. God's the play. Okay, here's the number of people who voted in Westchester. Go ahead.
None of the numbers are up. Democrats going to have to start worrying. They're going to have a better message.
I started the show off with that
A
comment.
better message. And it's everything we were discussing is part of the message. They have to have a better message. Other than fear and scaring black folks into voting.
So
They
what's
have to have a better message.
What's different than what Trump did? Trump, all he did was spell fear.
Fear from what?
Immigrants gonna come in and take your jobs, gonna eat your cats and dogs, all this stuff. Fear. If you let them in your city, they're gonna do all this stuff and turn your city into all these things. A lot of stuff that's not true. Fear to make people vote for him. That's what. Let's not pretend that's not what the politics of this election was about. A fear on both sides.
It was fear, exactly. But they didn't do. But black people wanted to hear results. Like, come on, man. Black people wanted to hear results.
And Trump gave them results.
No, listen, I'm not even talking about Trump winning. Like, dude, I'm talking about what the Democrats need to do.
And it's the post-election conversation.
And it's basically like, Democrats, you got to get your shit together.
I said that in the beginning.
Shit together. So if we agreeing on that, if I'm saying the Democrats have to do A, B, and C, it ain't about motherfucking Trump. I don't care about Trump. See, we have been so fucked up over the last 10 years of this motherfucker. Everything is about Trump. And nothing is about us getting together and making sure our shit together.
Two things can be true. We need to get our shit together. And what I said was true, that you said the Democrats are trying to get fear, putting out fear to get people to vote. And I said, that's all Trump's ever done. That's all I said.
But I don't worry about, but my point is not about Trump. Why when you criticize the Democrats, you bring up Trump? And
because
that was the problem.
Apples and apples.
And this
Cause
is and this is why.
politicians in this election putting out fear to get you to vote.
But this is what I'm
That's what I'm
saying.
talking
But
about.
AJ, you're
Both
missing the
sides.
point. You're missing the point because you, like a lot of other people, have Trump syndrome. You're missing the point.
I'm done. Don't do that.
Dude, I'm talking about the Democrats. Let's say on how the Democrats lost. It ain't about how Trump won. It's how the Democrats lost. It's how the Democrats lost.
You can't talk one without the
Oh,
other.
he got the popular vote. What did they do wrong?
You can't talk about one without the other. You can't
No,
say, "Oh, we're not
no,
going to talk
no.
about him winning. We're only going to talk about them losing."
No,
They
you
lost because he
can.
won.
What?
You can't say we're not going to talk about him
So,
winning.
all
We're
right.
only going to talk about them losing. So what did he do? So before you create fear and a rhetoric or anything like that, and talk about what the Democrats didn't do, what did Trump do to get their votes? Why did they vote for him? Is why a lot of people are baffled. Why did they vote for him?
Because you know why he voted for them? You know why he voted for them? Because people resonated with their life, their policies, and they couldn't, and the Democrats did not disconnect themselves from the Joe Biden presidency. And it's just, dude, it's just straight simple. And the country, wait a minute, let me finish. You asked the question. And the country is more conservative than Democrats thought. They're more conservative. And let me tell you something. It's an old saying. It's the economy, stupid. And they was not honest with the people. You could tell me all you want that the economy is doing good. But if I gotta go spend $130 for some goddamn fruits and vegetables that used to cost me $50 or $60, it doesn't matter. It was the message.
Gaza was a bigger problem.
Well, that too. It was a numerous thing of problems.
There was a lot of single voters that had a problem with the handling of Gaza.
Well, okay. Well, wait.
She didn't speak up. She didn't speak up against certain things
Because she didn't separate herself from the Biden administration.
that was also a big deal in why they lost the election.
AJ, that's what I said. She didn't separate herself from the Biden administration. The Democrats didn't give
it's hard to separate yourself from something you're part of.
And that was the. See?
If they talked about the media and they start talking about Black Westchester, I can't say, oh, well, how do I separate myself from Black Westchester in that conversation?
And
how do I separate?
wait a minute. And that was the problem. And that's why people were saying they should have had a primary. Because of the fact that she couldn't clearly separate herself from the Biden administration. I don't care what type of thing they said, she was there.
And I agree. That I said, and I agree.
Those are problems.
You can't talk about going into the future and not repeating the past, and you're part of what you're saying to move forward.
Exactly. And that was a problem. It's nothing.
What's more problematic than the what you just posted about Westchester? The amount of Black people in Mount Vernon that actually voted for Trump. I wish I had that number, because that number would startle people. I think that number would really startle people. The Black people in Mount Vernon,
but do you know why?
No. All I was doing was talking about numbers.
No. Hey, no. I'm going. Listen, I'm not scared to go there.
No. I was saying what I was speaking on was numbers. I said I wish I could show you the numbers.
And you know why? Because people are tired. You have to do something. The Democrats can't be in denial when most of the cities run by Democrats look like shit.
We've already covered that. We've already established that.
No, but
I'm saying in 10 years we've been talking about that. So I mean,
right.
understand? You're preaching to the choir. That's why you and I started the independent party in Mount Vernon. Like, you know what
Right,
I'm saying?
no, but my whole thing is you can't expect me to keep voting for the same thing. You could say Trump is bad, Trump is a racist, right? We're in Westchester. We seen Democrats being just as racist as Trump. Am I right?
But
Okay, okay. So what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? And that's my point. We have to if you're going to say one person is bad, but we see bad in the party that we vote for.
well, I don't disagree with you, and I've always been.
And that's my point. You can't. It's almost like when Joe Spezio said Andre Wallace is not paying prevailing wages, and he wasn't either.
Well, not that. Don't wrong word. He wasn't. Andre actually was, but you say either.
No. But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Putting
What
that
Spezio did was
no.
he
What I'm saying
anything
is,
he was accused of, he was accusing Andre of. That's what he was.
and that's what I'm saying.
Prevailing wages and was found.
And,
And was
and,
found. No. I just want. No. Words matter. You said either, which means neither one of them was doing it.
Okay, right.
And I wanted to say. Andre was investigated and found to have been paying prevailing wages.
Right. But the whole thing was he put that on him from what he was doing.
That's the whole thing. Everything you accused of, you accuse somebody else of and change the narrative. Yeah.
And that's what happened.
I'm the one that wrote the story and wrote the story about this is what it looks like and talked about all the times.
What happened. So we have to listen. The Democrats are going to have to give something tangible, or they're going to lose more black people. If you look from President Bush,
I said they got 4 years to figure it out. It's going to be 4 years of hell. They're going to have 4 years to figure it out, and if they don't figure it out, that's on them as a party.
No, the party's over.
Like
the
party's not over yet.
No, dude. If you keep pushing on a national level, if you keep pushing that agenda that they're pushing, they will never get the White House again.
So
you gotta come back to the middle.
Right. So we had two comments from a brother named Van. He said, economy results of COVID. Dems never explained that capitalism has periodic inflation swings no matter the presidency. Harris didn't have her own perspective on being president. And part two, any VP should have a plan, strategy, and keep people in mind in case they are called on. She didn't and didn't know how to pivot in real time.
No, and that's probably and not only she didn't, the party didn't.
Right. I just want to thank Van for tuning in.
Right. Thank you, Van. I'm just not blaming. It's not on Kamala. Trust me on this. For people that's watching, it's on the party. It's on the national DNC.
And they gave her 117 days to try to pull out a miracle.
And she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it.
And he been campaigning for 4 years. Like, I'm just saying, like, yo.
No, he ain't been campaigning for 4 years. We've been talking about him for 4 years. What are you talking about? See, this is
He's been campaigning for over a year, for 2 years. You know, he said he was running.
But see, here's the thing. We've been talking about him.
I stopped talking about him. I refuse to talk.
I'm talking about the media. Every day.
We're part of that.
Since no, we're not part of it.
Whoa.
We ain't part of it. We're not part of that media.
Wait. I agree. I've
We're
always
not part of
agreed.
that media.
Okay, listen, I agree, and I've always agreed that like Trump was like a gremlins, don't feed him at midnight, like we said about certain local figures. Yo, they spent so much time every time he says something talking about it. He got so much free publicity and free advertising, and then it was like everything he did, like I've always said, if you don't talk about him, he go away. Like, stop talking about him. And on MSNBC, Fox, CNN, and every other organization, he was always, if he blew his nose and something purple came out, they talked about it. Like, they talked about everything. And he was, even after he lost, they didn't let him just go away. They kept him active. So I've always said that. So let me.
Listen, they wasted millions of governmental dollars with these, and I know them cases is bogus because Sam Zerka, who with my man Sam, he was under one of the same cases that the AG, and it's a bogus case. It's a bogus case.
All the cases against him are not bogus.
Well, look, it's a wrap now.
Well, it's absolutely a wrap now because
It's a wrap now.
if he gets convicted of anything, he'll pardon himself. So he's not going to jail. So
them cases, no, them federal cases is over. Them local cases is done too. And he's gonna beat the New York case.
He already lost that. Wait. He can't beat it. He lost it.
He's going to beat it. Trust me, he's going to beat it in appeal. He's going to beat it. I'm telling you, he's going to beat it. He's going to beat it in appeal. He's going to beat it in appeal.
But he doesn't even have to.
No.
If they sentence him to jail, he will just pardon himself. They don't have to. He doesn't even have to.
But that's not federal court.
Huh?
I don't think that's a federal court. That's a local. That was done in the from the Manhattan DA's office.
Oh,
and
right.
they pushed, I think that case was the Manhattan DA. It wasn't a federal case.
All right, he can't pardon himself from that.
Yeah, because the federal didn't even want to charge him on that. They was like, we're not wasting our time on that. And then they pushed Bragg to do it. He wasn't going to do it. They pushed Bragg to do it. He's going to beat it in appeal. Because the question is, where was the damn victim? Where was the victim? Nobody was a victim because he paid all the loans. They did that same shit to Zerka. They did it to Zerka. And there's no victim.
Zerka went to jail for it.
Zerka copped it because it was a federal case. That was the difference. It was a federal case. And when they do it, they just want him to spend money. Because you can't outspend the government. So Zerka copped to a plea, and he paid, and I think he just paid a fine, and he went the fuck home.
He didn't go to jail?
He went to jail for a minute.
Oh, but all I said is he went to jail.
Yeah, well, he went to jail. He went to jail while he was doing the trial, and then he got out after he paid the fine. But at the end of the day, that's a weak case. It's a weak case. The feds can bring it because you'll go broke trying to fight the feds. And he didn't even have to go to jail. He could have just paid the fine. So, I mean, at the end of the day, but you wasted your time and you gave this man promotion. You should just left him alone. You just left him alone. There's other things that the AG should have been doing. There's other things that we as a community, we should have been doing than worrying about this dude to him to come out and get the goddamn popular vote. Are you kidding me? They have to rethink everything.
I said that. I started off the show saying that.
Everything. They got to rethink. The Democrats got to rethink their values. They got to rethink everything because clearly not everybody. And you can't shame people. You got to look into yourself. What did you do wrong, Democrats? What did you do wrong? You can't say, "Oh, people are stupid. People are this. People are that. They're this. I don't know what people are thinking." Well, what message did you give? Sooner or later, we got to do that. Because if not, the Republican Party is going to get more people. It's just going to grow.
Another staggering fact, as I was watching the news last night around 2 o'clock after he won Pennsylvania, um, his number of votes for Latinos went up from 2020 to 2024, and his number of votes for Black people went up from 2020 to 2024.
Yeah.
That has to be looked at. Again, we're all not a monolith. We all have different issues and various issues, and same thing with Latinos. They expected that the Latinos were going to be Democrat, and a lot of them are not Democrat. A lot of them are identifying with Republicans, and again, like I said, they got 4 years to figure it out. Their messaging has been off. And I said again, and I said again, black men have been ignored. Black men were only important in the last hour when they realized they needed the black man vote to win. Like nobody, we weren't having no conversation. No, the Democratic candidates weren't having these conversations about what black men's needs were, how important the black men vote was, even about attracting more black men to come out, until it became evident that they needed every vote and they were going to need all the black men to come out.
Well,
That's
well,
that's when we had this conversation, and black men, again, for this whole narrative that some people try to put out that black men are the fault. Black men were tired of being ignored, and they spoke up.
well, black men are not the fault. That's number one.
Well, I said that.
Right, right. And number two, you know, it's sad that we got it's sad that we got to this point in the juncture that we're not even we're not even looking at the whole picture on why black men feel the way they feel. And we're going to be there are going to be some that's going to blame black men, but as I said on the show with Tasha and them, how do you expect black men to feel? How do you expect black men to feel? We've been through Obama. We're still struggling. Right? We're still going to jail. Our communities are still looking crazy. Still not a
People were
lot of
killed,
programs.
black people were killed by the police. That didn't stop.
Exactly. But the main thing is, how do we be men in our homes? How do we be men in our homes? Yes, I really agree that there was with the Republican Party a sense of manhood, taking care of your family and protecting your community from a lot of those that was around Trump. And this is why Trump went to social media. He went to the Joe Rogan podcast. He went to these different podcasts where masculinity is spoken of and taking care of your family and making money and protecting your family. I think it was a big mistake for Kamala not to go on Joe Rogan. Trump got 60 million views on Joe Rogan.
Among a demographic that probably doesn't vote
Right?
and reached a group of people that wasn't being reached.
Exactly. Well, not only that, I mean, he went on all the top men joints. And I think the Democrats are going to have to come to the middle. They're going to have to come to the middle. They're going to have to start speaking about family, the family unit. They're going to have to do it. Or if they don't, they're going to lose even more next time. Guaranteed. And don't let them have a decent 4 years. Because then you're going to have Vance. And Vance is a little more polished in how he talks. See, and another thing, Democrats ain't got no bench. Democrats, y'all ain't got no bench. Republicans got a bench. Black, white, Indian, Republicans got a bench. They've always had a bench. Democrats ain't have no bench. One thing, they used to talk to Miles Davis, the great saxophonist, and they used to ask Miles, how do you stay up with the latest groove, with the latest things that's happening in jazz? And Miles said, I keep young people around me. I keep the young people around me. This election, that's what Trump did. I think J.D. Vance is the youngest vice president in the history of America. And he's the future. Look at the Democratic bench. Look at the Democratic bench. We're the young people. And the young people that you have, you don't want them on that level because they're looking at breaking the system. They're getting in locally, but when you get to a certain level, you gotta play a certain game. And you don't want them. And they said the 30 and under, the Republicans was getting the 30 and under vote, the majority. See if I can pull that up with the age.
He's the third youngest.
He's the third youngest. Oh, the mother young ones must have been for my time. How old is he?
40.
So there was vice presidents younger than 40?
Yeah, the third. I'm trying to find the name right now. New York Times said J.D. Vance will be one of America's youngest. At 40, the 40-year-old senator will be elected next vice president, will become the third youngest among among the least experienced and most polarized politicians ever to hold the office.
Maybe those numbers are not out yet. Voter turnout database. Well, I saw that they were saying that the younger people was breaking toward Trump, which is really dangerous for the Democrats.
And a lot of that was the single issue voters on Gaza.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't find it yet. But that's gonna be the damn y'all got a problem, man, and y'all gotta.
John C. Breckinridge was 36 when he took office as vice president in 1857.
Amazing.
So this article says second. So he's the second or third youngest. The Times says third, but this other article says second. But I found that other dude was 36 in 1957. So
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can bring this up. Hold on a second. See, they trying to throw black men under the bus already. Al Sharpton.
there's been a lot of that all day. That's why I
Amazing.
said, you know,
Amazing. Truly, truly fucking amazing, man. Y'all, we have to stop that, man. We really have to stop it. I mean, we could argue among each other, but we shouldn't be passing on blame. Let me see if I can share this.
well, let me be clear as a black man. By blaming black men for the loss of the election, you further alienize black men and do not encourage them to come out and vote. And
Exactly. Exactly.
like
Like,
you gonna put it all on us, then you know what I'm saying? Like y'all wasn't even talking about us before. Y'all wasn't reaching out to us or nothing. But now we are the blame for the loss of this election because you don't want to deal with your what you did wrong in this election as far as the Democratic Party. So, let's not do that because the black man vote is an important vote, and you do not want to further alienize the black man vote from future elections. Democrats can't afford to do that.
right, right.
And I want to say, and don't let me forget. So I remember when Hillary and Bernie were running in the primary, and we had people come on for Bernie, and we were speaking up for Bernie. Someone in our studio, a female, called us sexist because we were not voting for Hillary. And I said then, I was like, yo, you know, everyone who doesn't vote for Hillary is not sexist. Sexist people are not voting for her for sure. But everyone, just like everyone who didn't vote for Obama is not racist. Racists didn't vote for him. Then it came when Tish James ran. We were accused for not supporting a black woman. We were supporting a black woman, just the other black woman. But we were called sexist then. So I'm just saying on how this affect on a local level. So and now we're being accused, black men are being accused of being sexist for not supporting Kamala Harris. And that's a mistake.
Well, I mean that's what they do to that's that's what they do, to deflect. It's easy. It's always easy to deflect, bro.
Or blame somebody else instead of dealing with the issue. What the issue the Democrats need to deal with is why a person like Trump, we won't even go through his whole history. We all know that. It's been all over the news, all over everywhere. A person like Trump got more Latino voters than 2020, got more black voters than 2020. What is it that you're doing wrong that you're pushing people into his the support. Like, what are you doing wrong? This is definitely a look. Democrats need to look in the mirror because Democrats have pushed away voters.
Right.
So
Right.
so so let me say it a different way. Trump got more black voters in 2024 than he did in 2020. That means Democrats got less black voters in 2024 than they did in 2020. How did you lose that? By
Right.
by
Right.
by taking for granted that the black vote was yours.
Right.
We've always did this whole thing for the 10 years we've been about the importance of the black vote and how they take the black vote for granted. Well, two things I want to say. One, if there's a comeback, you're going to have to earn back the black vote. Sincerely earn back the black vote. It's another thing that I was thinking about overnight, and then a lot of people, I'm going to lose some people here. All through the Bible, God has allowed some things to happen to draw his people closer to him that they had to depend harder on him. I don't see this as any different right now. Because a lot of people have turned away from God and have not been reliant on God. And I know a lot of y'all might not be religious, and I'm going to lose a lot of y'all. But I got to put this out there, or else I wouldn't be me. But the Bible is full of stories where God has allowed something to happen to bring his people back closer to him. And that we need to deal with too. But go ahead. I'm not going to go too far with that. But
Well,
I wouldn't be me if I didn't say that. If I
no,
ain't,
no. I'm going to say this, and there's an article that I wrote that God creates chaos before He gives a solution, and which I quote the Bible, and I show different incidents in the Bible where God created chaos to bring solutions to His people. And if we're not, if I told somebody, a high-ranking elected official in Westchester County, I told them in the text, I said, look, man, I hate to say it, but there's no God in politics. I don't care what y'all claim, because I see your actions rather than your words. So I don't believe that that God is in politics, and there's no place in the New Testament for people who claim that they're Christians where Jesus told you to run out here and support Caesar or Pontius Pilate, right? So when I see pastors going over and beyond and not saying thus say the Lord, I have a problem with that. But that's your business, because that's your relationship with God, and you're gonna have to answer for that. And in the last year, I've been writing articles questioning pastors' motives, especially when it comes to Gaza and the descendants of Jesus Christ. Those are Jesus Christ's descendants. Whether we like it or not, or whether we want to turn our head from it and not really understand the importance behind what's going on. And I think if we don't recognize that, if we don't look at the strange weather that we're having, and the storms and the floods, and I mean, if you have any type of spiritual bone in your body, you will question that. If you read your Bible instead of going by it in the morning and at night, you will question what is going on today. And it's very important, that we look at these things, man. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. But America is the only country that has never been literally like fully invaded from a foreign power. And as a black man and descendants, of slaves, we claim this because we worked here 400 years for free. You can't say that this ain't ours. This is ours just as well as anybody else's. But if we're not going to recognize, and if we claim that we're a Christian country, and we're not going to recognize what has been prophesized, then we're all a bunch of hypocrites. Pastors, all of them. We're just a bunch of hypocrites if we're not going to be if we're not going to tell the truth about this stuff.
Just say really quickly.
I'm trying to download this thing. I don't know what's going on, man. Because I want to play this. See, because this is one of our black leaders falling into the craziness, which we shouldn't. One video is found in tweet. I don't know why it's not allowing me to download.
Just say really quickly too.
Let me see if I get it like this. Oh, there we go. All right, let me see if I can bring it up. See what he talking about.
So while you're doing that, other local election results: Mike Lawler held out against Mondaire Jones, who was challenging him, 52.5% to 45.5%. Mondaire actually did win Westchester, but the 17th district is bigger than Westchester. George Latimer beat his Republican candidate. Susan Case beat her Republican candidate. A lot of the other people that were running unopposed, Pretlow won. I just had the.
Pretlow has been going undefeated for years, man. I think the only person that ran against him was Sam Rivers.
There's something to be said. Either nobody wants the job or people are happy with the job he's doing. I don't know.
Nobody wants it, and they just feel that it ain't worth going because he's been there so long. But I think this is it for him.
Yeah, I think this might be. He might. I think.
I think this is his last. This is his last term. This is his last term. All right, let me see if I can get this. All right, here we go.
Just say really quickly too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest, and they need to say yes, there's misogyny, but it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. The Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Honest conversations. Just say, Rev.
So
I actually didn't hear the whole thing, but I'm sorry. I apologize. I was doing something else. I didn't listen to it in its entirety, what you played.
All right, you want me to play it again?
Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of,
with other Hispanics. You've got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Real honest conversations. Just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all...
Okay, I was going to say, you can stop it. So this is a misogynistic country. I mean, point blank. I mean, I'm not sure. It's a misogynistic country. And yes, there were some black men who had a problem, but that don't mean that all black men had a problem. Let me just be clear about that. Like, I don't know. I'm not hearing you, Damon. Are you muted or?
Listen, we can't fall on that. We can't, and Al Sharpton should be ashamed of himself to start with these Democratic talking points about black men. Black men is the most hated man in America. Black men is the most hated man in America. So our unity is the most scared. But yes, there are some. But I think the Democrats is using that instead of saying we have to look at our policies. How do our policies affect family? How do our policies grow family? The black community is the lowest community of any other ethnic group with marriage, with black marriage. The black community has the highest rate of children born under wedlock. How do we bring community back? How do we bring family back? Because maybe we wouldn't have these problems if we're not addressing the needs. Daniel Moynihan, when he put out the report about the black family, I think it was in the 60s or the 70s, said the only way the black community and the black family is going to grow is that the black man needs to be back in the house. They knew this, AJ. And what did they do? They did programs to take the black man out of the house. So now that the black man's out of the house, and they created the atmosphere that the black woman don't need the black man, now you worried about black men? Shouldn't be worried about black men now. Because now the Democrats know they have a problem moving forward. Now all of a sudden we need, let's have the honest conversations. Al Sharpton, let's have the honest conversations on how black families was torn apart.
So what you're talking about is the 1965 The Monahan Report,
Yes,
the Negro Family, the Case for National Action.
exactly. That night it was in 1965,
1965. That
and
was
they knew,
I
and
was
they
I'm 58. I'm going to be 59.
exactly.
That's the year before I was born.
Exactly. So they knew over 50 years what was the problem of the black community. They knew over for 50 years that black men need to be in the house. That the black family unit, as I've been saying for the longest, needs to be together. And if I think, well, that was Daniel Moynihan,
Yes,
and wasn't he a Democrat? He's from New York.
from New York.
Yeah. So the Democrats knew the solution. They knew the solution for 50 years. They haven't acted on it.
Going on 60 years.
60 years. They haven't acted on it. See, we have to get rid of these some of these black leaders that are falling in line. That's crazy for Al to even be talking that. But I know Al got to get a job. He got to get a check. He has to get a check. And that's why MSNBC they trying to sell MSNBC. So to even pay attention to MSNBC is fooling ourselves. The owners don't even want it no more. But we shouldn't allow whatever his name is to put that on black men, acting like we ain't suffering. We just don't want a black woman president. You know what I'm saying? We're doing great. We got 401ks. We got good credit. We got all the good things that white folks got, and we just don't want a woman. No, we want more than that. Like they don't understand that we did this with Obama. It has nothing to do with Kamala. We did this with Obama. And black men are finally saying, yo, man, we can't even take care of our families.
Chapter 2, The Negro American Family. At the heart of the deterioration of the fabric of the Negro is the detritus of the Negro family, and a fundamental source of the weakness of the Negro community at the present time. There is probably no single fact in Negro American life so little understood by whites. But he said the heart of the deterioration of the fabric of the Negro society is the deterioration of the Negro family. That's the first
And,
paragraph.
and that and he's right on point. He's right on point. He's right on point. 30%. We had the lowest rate of black marriages. Huh?
I sent you the link so you can read it, the whole thing yourself.
Huh? The baby shower is a new wedding. And by the time the baby born and the mama and the daddy ain't even together. We gotta fix that. We have to fix that. See, these are issues that are not addressed, that are not being addressed. And now it's bubbling up, but they only want to talk about it now because it might affect them in the future of winning these elections. But if you look back, everybody, what's crazy is like everybody forgot about Michelle Alexander, right? And the new Jim Crow. I remember everybody was talking about it. White people were having little reading groups of the new Jim Crow. Everybody was talking about the new Jim Crow, right? Who did she say was part of the author of the new Jim Crow? Joe Biden. Somebody call me. Yeah, Joe Biden. I gotta teach Charles how to get in, man, because he can't get in.
Charles who?
Billups.
Oh,
We about to get off. We done been on here. Oh, it's 21 people watching, man. But that's the whole thing. So when are we going to have a black agenda? See, we need a black agenda. We don't need the Democrats to give us an agenda. We need a black think tank to give a black agenda. I think everybody that's watching need to get 2 books. Blueprint to Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson and Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Those are the 2 books we really need to look at as black people on how do we have a black agenda. Black churches, $11 billion a year business. Black people spend $1.7 trillion a year on bullshit. Gucci bags, red bottom shoes, Adidas, Nike, all white companies. We make less money than white families, but we own more Mercedes Benzes than white families. We don't need to look at politicians to save us. We got all the resources ourselves. We lack faith and we lack unity and the true believing in God. Because we're the only ones talking about this. The Jews don't talk about it. They just go about their business, make their money, take care of their family. When they kids get married, they not giving them a lavish, crazy wedding. They're buying them a house. They're buying them a house. So we got to change our values in the black community.
yo. So I'm not sure who HW is. He said, "Bro, you sound like you missed a lot of civic classes. Those numbers are way off." What numbers are you talking about?
I don't know
HW.
what numbers.
I'm asking HW. What numbers are you talking about? Be more specific. Not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know because you could Google the how much money black churches do a year, and you could also Google how much black people spend.
But I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I want him to be more specific on what. I mean, a lot of things were said.
Yeah, but I mean, he's talking about numbers. I don't know.
So HW, I mean, you put the comment up there. I read your comment. What are you talking about exactly? I mean, be more specific. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to be clear. I mean, we're having a conversation. We're not gonna run from. Someone else said. Father Peyton said, "The family that prays together stays together. Think about it as a start. God bless." Trump 2024.
Yo, listen. But see.
Okay, he said GDP like what? That was his
No,
response. What numbers are we
no.
talking about?
Spending power. This is how much we spend. Black people spend $1.7 trillion. We are the largest consumers. And since you want to mention GDP, our spending on consumers are larger than some countries' GDP. I'm talking about spending. Spending on bullshit. Spending like clothes, cars, jewelry, all the bullshit. That's what I'm talking about. We are the country's largest consumer. But we spend more money on nothing than some countries' GDP. Since you want to put up GDP, I didn't even take it that far, but since you want to put it up, Google it. Google it. It's there. In our churches, $11 billion a year, business. And where are the schools? Where are the schools? With $11 billion a year. Where are the high schools? Why are we sending our children to these death traps of public school systems? Where they don't even teach our children civics. When they don't teach our children civics. They don't barely teach our children, they don't even teach our children how to cook. Remember, we used to have home economics, to sew and cook for ourselves. How to hem your pants. What happened to all that? What happened to all that? Our young girls can barely cook, not even for themselves, but for their children. And then they Uber eating and Grubhubbing, and they wonder why their kids got ADHD. Running around the school all crazy, then they put them on medication. Because they eating Happy Meals and Chicken McNuggets, and 10-year-old girls got bodies like 16-year-old girls. And we don't want to control none of that. We have to do better. As a people, we looking for saviors. We too busy. The Bible tells you not to look for saviors from this political thing. The scriptures tell you that. We're supposed to be Christian, right? The scriptures tell you. Don't put your trust in princes. Well, if you do the math for the living, then you could Google it. Then you do the math, you can see how much black people spend as consumers. Then you do the math. If you do the math, you should already know. What are you asking me all these other questions? You should already know how much money black people spend. You should already know that we're the country's largest consumers. If that's what you do, you should already know that we don't have those type of savings and everything like that. The average black family. You should already know that. That we own less real estate now than we did in years after we was freed from slavery. So, I mean, what are we saying? We got to do better.
He said, all this emotion, numbers are factual, you don't understand them.
I know. Well, you don't understand them. If all the numbers are factual, and if that's what we spend, it's simple as that.
He said it's mathematically impossible.
Okay.
Those are the numbers right there.
Exactly. So I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what kind of numbers he work with.
Oh, he said the fact that you say they own less than before slavery ended.
Oh yeah, we do own less land. We own less land now. We do. That's a fact.
Not before slavery ended, after slavery ended.
After slavery ended.
Right, we didn't own nothing during slavery.
Right,
So,
right, yeah. Well, after slavery ended, we own less land.
But there were a lot of black landowners whose land got stolen from them um, in that whole period after
No, no,
slavery.
I understood that, but
No. I'm explaining that that's the period of time you're talking about. That's
right, and not only that, when black people wanted to migrate to the north, a lot of descendants, when their grandfather died, they didn't go back down there and claim that land. They sold the land. They sold the land. So we did that to ourselves because we didn't understand the power of having land.
well, we did that to ourselves. Some of it was stolen from us. Like
No,
there
no,
was
no, I get that.
yeah.
No, I'm talking about what we did to ourselves. Like I know the racism and they took the land, but I'm talking about what we did to ourselves.
Not understanding not understanding the value of the land and generational wealth and all that stuff.
Exactly. Look at the family. Look at the family that was given by the state of California that beachfront property
Right.
that was stolen. You know they sold it.
Oh, they got the land. The family that got that land back, they sold it.
They sold it. Are you kidding me?
So we going 2 hours plus. What's your last message to
My
the
last message
Democrats,
is
going forward as far as this
my
election
last
and what
message
they
is,
should learn from this?
well, Democrats need to learn that they have to have a black agenda. They have to start treating the people that vote for them, the largest group, which is black men and women. They better start having a black agenda, and they better start moving more to the center. And then black people, we need an agenda. We're the only ethnic group that says put party before community. We never put community before party. Other ethnic groups do it in their political landscape. We don't do it in ours.
We saw that in the George Latimer Bowman race. They were calling people to put community before party.
Well, they had a website up that said community before party.
They called for that. Yeah.
Listen, that's what it was. But see, we don't do that. We put party before community. See, and this is and that Al Sharpton clip that's exactly what it was. Because Al Sharpton shouldn't allow Joe Scarborough to say that about black people. But when you're getting a check, you're going to go along with that. But he shouldn't allow him to say that.
Actually, Joe said it's not just white people; it's Hispanics, and it's Al who said what he said about black people. Like Al doubled down on the black people.
But Al should have. But see, Al should have corrected him. See, and this is what I'm saying, because when you see the two brothers that are Republican that be on CNN, they correct them on that. Like, you can't do that to black men. But we don't even see it from the people that we claim we vote for. And that's going to be a problem moving forward, bro, for the Democratic Party. And no matter what we think about Trump, he's smart enough to try to build a big tent. And that's where he's going to, and that's where, you see, their tent is getting smaller. If you don't think how we think, you're this, and you're that, and you're this, and you're that. No. And that's what's going to kill us.
Actually, the only pushback I have on that, Trump did nothing to build a bigger tent. Trump doubled down on the things that he was saying. Democrats push voters away. So there's a difference. But Trump didn't do anything to. The Republicans didn't do anything to draw more people.
No, the Republicans were smart enough to put young people out there as delegates, as people to speak. That's what I'm saying, bro. They're being smart about that. The young people that the Democrats had, they took out. They took out Jamal Bowman. They took out Cori Bush, right? They took out the young people. That's what they did. And you know that's a fact. So now they ain't got no bench but some old fogey stogies. Trump is doing the Miles Davis. I'm going to always be relevant because when I send I'm going to send young people out there.
Talking about age. So Trump will swear in
As the oldest president.
The oldest president. He will be 100 and some days older than Biden was when he swore in.
Yeah, but check it out though. But think about that. How is he swearing in as the oldest president and he was getting all the 30 and under vote?
Democrats have to look at that.
How is he? See, and that's what I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. He's going to be the oldest president, but you're going to see a sea of young people, whether it's black, white, Chinese, or whatever. It's going to be a sea of young people.
Yo, we coming to the close of the show, but I started off with a quote from my man Raheem Shabazz in Atlanta, and I'm going to end my comments with that same quote. Believing that black people lack political savvy and are not looking for tangible benefits and policy before voting is a serious miscalculation. Thinking that Adilas celebrities like Plies, and Uncle Luke could represent Black America's voice was an outrageous insult. When we voiced our disapproval over Megan Thee Stallion twerking at a political rally, the Harris campaign responded by bringing in Cardi B and Sexy Red only to deepen the disrespect. The Democrats have 4 years to get it right, reclaim the White House, and start prioritizing black communities. It's time that we learn to read the room. See you in 4 years. Raheem Shabazz.
Hey, listen. If they don't get it together, ain't gonna be no 4 years because there ain't gonna be a party. Since President Bush, more and more black people start voting Republican. So y'all got to get it right. I mean, y'all got to work it out. And you can't shame people. You can't belittle people. You can't call people names. Because that's not going to get you in the tent. That's not going to get them in the tent. You got to tell the truth about things. What? It's not the Dems.
It's not the Dems. It is us. Yolo Jones.
Yeah. Part of it is our problem. As a people. As a people. Outside of the Democrats. Outside of the Democratic Party.
Not having a black agenda and all those things that you were speaking on earlier.
Yeah, we have to have a black agenda.
Why are we not united? We have the power.
Exactly.
And the opposition knows that, and you know what I'm saying? And we keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe when they throw little things to further divide us. And, they have some of us out there saying things like they don't even have to do it. They got certain people that look like us out there saying things to further the divide. And we always fall for the banana in the tailpipe. So,
we always stay divided, and they're working on dividing us now. Trust me, it's going to be a big push to divide us, and it's just going to get worse as the rhetoric, as the reality of everything. People actually say, "Oh my God, this is real." The rhetoric and hate is going to start getting worse. We have to work on solutions. Black people, we have to have solutions. We got to get solutions. We can't pay attention to this stuff. We can't pay attention to this stuff. Okay, he won. Now what are we going to do?
Now what?
But pay attention. I'm having a video, and I'm strictly saying, no matter who's president, it's going to be from the publisher's desk. There's things that we need to do for ourselves, no matter who's president.
Right? Mm-hmm.
We need to keep our faith in God. We need to keep our health, and we need to keep making money, and we need to keep protecting our family. That doesn't stop. That doesn't stop when those president. Everybody's worrying about Project 2025. Well, where's the Black Project 2025? I don't care about what some white man wrote, who don't even understand civics. Some of the stuff they were talking, don't even understand. They can't even talk about how government works. Some of the stuff that they were talking. But where is the black people's agenda for 2025? Where is your personal agenda for Project 2025? That's where we got to start. Start with the man and woman in the mirror.
Absolutely. And
then it starts community. We can't even, how we worried about what's going on in the presidency, and we can't even make our community safe. The Jews do it. The Italians do it. The Asians do it. You can't go in Chinatown and act a fool. You'll be missing. You can't go in the Jewish community. You can't even go in the Jewish community, period.
Little Italy.
Little Italy, you can't, but you can, but everybody can do that in the black community. Everybody can do that in the black community.
Yeah, in response to Yolo Jones, we are not united. Why are we not united? Hold on. Why are we not united? We have the power. You know why? Because every group of people but us realizes that we have the power. We don't realize we have the power. And that's why it's so easy to do all these different things. Kurt Bailey wrote Matthew 12:25, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And I agree, and that's that. Thank you, Kurt Bailey. Yeah, we have to. If we handle our business in house, it really doesn't matter what anybody else does. If we handle our business, so like Democrats got to get it together. We've already said black people. I mean, we got to get it together,
Right.
or nobody's going. Like nobody. Like if we're not together and fighting for ourselves, nobody gonna fight for ourselves or give us give
Right.
us anything because it's the right thing to do. Everything that we have got, the little things we did got, we fought tooth and nail to get.
Right.
But at some point we stopped and stood on our laurels and celebrated the 60s too much and we stopped fighting. Like there's a whole lot of things that we need to be done now. And we need to handle our business. And that's the bottom line. Until we do, ain't nobody gonna take us serious or worry about the black agenda, or nobody's gonna be doing anything for us.
Yep.
Because we don't have it together. And if you was to ask black people what they want, would they be able to tell you? We complain about things we don't have, but if a true candidate came to the leaders of the black community and asked, so what is it that y'all want? Will we be able to articulate and tell them? Are we organized enough that we have leaders that can speak for us like that?
No, we're not, because they speak out of a position of weakness and not a position of power. And not a position of power, because we don't understand our power. All right, I gotta close out because I gotta go. Got this guy coming. I gotta still doing this work on my house.
Yo, so this has been, thank you for all the people tuning in
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
a special post-election edition of Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show, streaming live. We normally air on Sundays between 6 and 8 p.m. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you share. And I'll put the video on blackwestchester.com. Let this be the beginning of the conversation, not the end of the conversation. We need to continue this conversation. We need to be seriously having these conversations. And we're not going to all agree. I mean, you see, there was moments where me and my brother didn't agree on certain things, but that's still, we need to be having a conversation. Not have the conversation because we don't agree on everything. We need to continue these conversations amongst ourselves. And, hopefully this is the beginning and this inspires a lot more conversation. Until next time, peace.
Yeah, please like, share, and follow, subscribe so y'all get the notice of when we got the next shows coming up and from the publisher's desk. And we're out of here.
This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester Magazine presents the People Before Politics show, the news with the black point of view.
$22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 22 million black victims of America.